Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hey everyone, like put the lotion on the skin. Welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and we are continuing our top 100 games of all time for 2025 in 2 years. So this is the eighth annual uh top 100. I never checked. Oh God, don't look at my process. Don't look at what I'm uploading. Um, I don't. Do I have the top 100 games from 2017 on my channel? I have the data for it. Uh, okay, so
Would that
yeah,
have been the
definitely.
one? Would that have been
Obviously,
the one that was recorded at Chad's house? No,
we
that was
didn't
the
do the
top
top
10. That
100.
was top 10.
That
That
was the
wasn't top
top
100.
10.
Yeah, that's
Nope,
right.
it's there. 2017. We did that, yeah, in 2017, funny enough, which makes
That's funny.
sense because if you want to go all the way back, you can go see the top 100 games of all time. Um, and I've always done it with you.
Yep.
Yeah. And I even say I'm not alone. I'm joined by my good friend Brad. Who knew? Who knew we'd
Yep.
be after all these years
Yep.
talking about my great games and your shitty ones. But
We shall see. You'll like some on my list.
yeah, I think this is gonna be probably gonna be wacky like the last segment.
Yeah.
Um so this is 90 through 81, and I have two new ones on the list. One, two, three, four that fell, three that rose, and one stayed the same.
Interesting. I have four that rose, three that fell, and three new ones.
Nice. Nice. Also, one thing that I meant to bring up, at the beginning of the last segment, talking about the games that were in consideration. Uh, all of the games that are in consideration for me are games that I have to own. Um, which I know is not. I don't think that's something you do. Like I think you could just
The
consider.
majority of them I do, but then
Yeah,
there's some like that I've played that maybe you own or somebody else owns that I
right.
haven't bought, but I play it there and I put it on the list.
Which is fair because at this point, like, well, I guess we know enough people who will own other games. It's not really worth having everyone in the group own.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I personally feel if it's gonna be my top 100 games of all time, that it's like, well, I should probably own it. So yeah. And most of them I will have a review or run through or some sort. Uh,
Right.
might be older and probably in the works of getting a redo video after so long, but it's probably there.
Okay.
Anyway, with that out of the way, Brad, kick us off.
All right. My number 90 is a game that rose. It was 104 last year. It had slipped out of the top 100, but it was firmly in. It's been on this list since at least 2019. It's usually like around 50, and then it's kind of slipping a little bit. Like I said, it went from 91 uh, 2 years ago to 104, and now 90. So it's kind of back in. That's just because I got it played. And that
Nice.
is Isle of Skye.
Ooh,
Um,
nice.
so this one was one that I've had for a long time. And if it's kind of like I mean, it adds more mechanics, obviously, but when the tiles almost you're laying kind of like a Carcassonne kind of thing. But this has the interesting deal where you have your family your like player shield that has your family name on it, and you are um there's gonna be tiles that you're
Uh-oh.
gonna that you're gonna have. Yep, just like that. And you're going to put behind your deal, how much money it's gonna cost people to try to buy. You're gonna get rid of one of them with the axe, and then you're gonna put money down on the others. The catch of that is everybody removes their shield at the same time, and then if somebody wants to buy like that middle one, they're gonna need to pay you $5. Or if they want the right one, it looks like they're going to have to pay 17. They're really wanting that one.
Yeah, they
But
like really overcharged.
but what ends up happening is everybody gets a chance to buy from each other. But then if nobody buys the ones you put money down on, then you have to buy them. So that money is spent technically, unless so there's that give and take, because the only way you really get money in this game is from people buying the stuff, and there's like coin icons and stuff that are on the tiles and stuff that as long as they're on a road that goes back to I think I don't know, the monastery or whatever it is, the building, then you get
Yeah.
that much money on those tiles as well. But the big crux of your money is you're wanting to try to push the limit of getting somebody to pay a lot of money for something without them refusing and then you having to pay it. But then when you get whether you get one or two tiles, you place them in your little tableau and you're trying to get points that way. Now, what's interesting about this game is that one picture you had of the scoring board. Um,
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the scoring
This
is
one.
I like the scoring of this because there's all these different tiles that'll go down on A, B, C, and D. Um, and you like if you look on that very first little disc down there, A is going to score after the first round, then B is going to score the second round, then A and C is going to score the third, and then B and D, and so on. So you have to kind of have some forethought into that because some things might not score one round, but something else may, and it may be a combination of two. And but there's a handful of those tiles, so the ways you score points are going to be different most games, and
Hmm.
the expansions just add more stuff like that and everything. Um, and then I'm trying to remember. There wasn't a catch-up there was there a catch-up mechanism in this one, or
I
I
don't
keep
think
thinking
so.
no, I don't think there was. I keep thinking of Wax because it has the rats, but
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, you you have a nice little layout aesthetic, with stuff, and some of the goals are like if you have the most cows or if count your cows and see and stuff. There's all these different symbols on the tiles. It looks really nice when the game's over, but it's got a nice little, if you like Carcassonne, this is a step up from Carcassonne because it adds like a money management system and more symbology and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
this is still a really good game, intro game, not super intro, but a next step from intros.
Right. Yeah, I agree. This is not my top 100. It's like 250 or something. Um, but that's mainly just because I haven't touched it in many years because it works better at that higher player count that
Right.
I just never consistently get around. So, but yeah, this one is a very solid one.
Yep.
Speaking of solid ones, my number 90, here's the wackiness. It was 163 last year, and in 2023 it was 50. So
Interesting.
it's it rose 73 spots. Um, and funny enough, it's not even that I've gotten this game played like in a hot minute, but which funny enough is probably why it was in the 50s, is because I probably did get it played around that time. But that is A Feast for Odin.
Yes.
All of my like Euro games are probably going to be in this back half. We'll get to the campaign games. Those are reserved for, you know, the prestige numbers.
Yes.
Um, but this these kind of games I very much enjoy because I just really like spatial awareness games, like with the Tetris pieces, the polyomino pieces. Um, and boy, oh boy, if you want one that's completely overcomplicated, then this is definitely the one. I think this is Uwe Rosenberg's kind of like magnum opus.
Hmm.
The one that probably, well, because it came out in 2016. I think his other games that had polyomino uh stuff would have been earlier. Um,
Well, it
yeah,
depends. Are you talking like,
Patchwork.
oh, okay. I was gonna say like because
Patch
like Cottage Garden and all those came out after Beast of
Those would have
Road.
been later. Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
that it almost feels like that kicked off because Patchwork is such a small game. Obviously he's known for a bunch of other Euro games, but Feast for Odin kind of was like his massive one that he decided to do, and then all the ones after that have been tempered. Um, but I mean, here's a perfect example of why many people find this game to be overwhelming because this is the action board, which are grouped or broken up into these different actions. So it's like each section is like just a different version of like mountains and trade, or here's products, um, based off of these four options here. So it's not like I think it's 60 something different actions
I think so,
that you
something
can
like
choose
that.
to place workers on. Now, while they are all different, they're not radically different from one another. So it's not like if you're going to be doing hunting, it's like, okay, here's hunting game, and here's hunting game a little bit different, and here's whaling, and here's whaling a little bit different. So once you kind of know the core actions, you're going to be able to get things going. But all this is to mainly gather resources, get extra land to be able to go out and explore like these different islands. And the cool thing about the game, since this is the main player board, is you start off in the negative, but as you craft items or get legendary pieces or find treasure and stuff, not only are they victory points, but by placing them over the negatives, you're gaining, you're trying to get out of the red. So once you cover up enough of this, it's like, okay, I think it's time for me to go out and conquer a different island so that I can gather even more points because I ran out of room in my stuff. Overall, like with the stigma that this game has, it's really not that bad.
Right.
Um, After like a playthrough of it, but for some reason I really don't feel like many people talk about this game anymore. I
Yeah.
know the expansion is highly sought after,
Yeah, I finally
but
got the expansion.
yeah, it was out of print for a while, right?
Yeah, and then it finally came back in a little
Yeah.
bit. So,
So
yep.
I have it, but I've never played the expansion. Um,
Apparently it
just
makes
core
it a
game.
lot better. I mean, I don't know because I haven't played it, but I mean, it apparently the expansion, like almost like people say they will never play it without it
Really?
anymore. Yeah, so
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't, but
And what's interesting is they always use this term like the first large expansion, and then it's like we look back and we're like, is there supposed to be a second?
I don't think
Like,
so.
because I mean, I wouldn't really consider, I guess mini expansions technically exist, but yeah, like if you like polyomino spatial awareness games, if you like worker placement, this game has that in spades. It's massive, but it's very, very good. Jumping back into my top 100, I just need to get it played. It would definitely be higher, like 2023 in the 50s. It'd probably be in that
Yeah.
wheelhouse again if I just played it more
Yep.
recently.
Yep.
What do people say? Do they say? Yeah, okay, yeah. Almost 200, almost 300 people recommended that at two, which is funny enough the only player count I've played it at.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's my number 90.
Good choice. All right. My number 89 is a game that's been on my list since the beginning. Um, it's a game that came out in 2011. And I only have data back to 2019 unless I, could find the others, but it was 25 in 2019. I think it was higher than that the 2 years prior. And then it's kind of bumped around a little bit and it's kind of started falling a little bit. And so it was 39 last year.
Damn.
So it dropped 50 spots. I haven't played it, and there's another reason why it made that drop, and this is Elder Sign.
Oh
Um,
God.
so this game, I still super, super enjoy this game, even though I haven't didn't play it this year. I have everything for this game. I even have the cool broken token, like wooden museum box. It looks like a museum on the outside. When you
Oh,
take it
that
off, it has all the,
tainted broken token crate.
yeah, I know, but
Now you
it
look at it and
it's
you're
really
like,
nice.
this.
But I think because this is like it's a quick game. It's a fast-paced game where you're at a location, you are Yahtzee style rolling dice, and you're trying to take on these challenges, beat them, whatever. But after a certain amount of time, the ancient one will come out, and then you have to battle them, and you're generally screwed at that point. Um, and but what they did with this, because the base game and the first expansion got kind of stale pretty quick.
Mm,
So then what they did is the best thing for this game that they did was every expansion after that brought in story elements. So then you were actually playing through like a story with it, you know. So because the first expansion was just added a couple more things and another die and stuff like that. And the Gates of Arkham was another one that didn't really add a whole lot of story. Unseen Forces and Gates of Arkham were the two that didn't add a whole lot of story. They started the story stuff with the Omens series, like the Omens of Ice, Omens of the
Oh,
Deep,
okay.
Omens of the Pharaoh. Um, the Grave Consequences is just a makes it harder if you want that kind of thing. So the Omens trilogy for this game is awesome because it starts adding a little bit. It's not thick story. It's not like you're reading a ton of stuff, but it actually adds more theme to it. So that makes it just better overall. Um,
Gotcha.
the reason this fell also not only because I haven't played it, and the reason it fell so far was because this is a dice rolling small card game version pretty much of Cthulhu Death May Die. And
Oh,
seriously, because you're doing these challenges and all that stuff, and then the old one will come out, you know, and that's
yeah,
kind of what happens. And I love Cthulhu Death May Die, so when given the option between these two, I'm gonna do Death May Die, you
yeah.
know. And I saw that's with that game existing and with this being not played this year, that's why it fell 50. I could see this not being on the list next year. But yeah, I'll always keep it because it is good, especially with those story elements. It adds some good stuff to it, um, and everything. But yeah, the Omens of the Deep one is pretty cool because you're like out in the ocean and stuff
Nice.
like that. But yeah, so Elder Sign, it's an old school. The one thing I wish I had of this game, which I probably could find a copy of this really cheap now, is they never sold dice extra dice packs for this and
Yeah.
annoyed the shit out of me because they gave you like the 5 dice and then you're just like, you know, and I was looking for extra dice sets for crazy, but I could find a shitty copy of
People
this
say
that just
this is
has dice.
best at 4.
I wouldn't do it at 4.
Oh
Bullshit.
God.
So I would play it solo is how I don't think I've ever played this with anybody else. Solo is how
Imagine
I've played it.
passing those 5 dice around
I
for
know.
4 people.
But you know, I could see it being really good two-player too, obviously. So that's
Yeah,
why I was wanting another set of dice just to, you know,
right.
so that each person could have their own when they're playing and stuff. But yeah, so I'll probably try to find a stupid like beat the shit copy of this somewhere just so I could get the dice out of it. That's pretty
You
much my
right.
my deal.
And
But
then you can give me the other stuff so I can use as kindling for my fireplace.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's my 89 Elder Sign. It's an old classic and yeah, I mean it's out of print now. You can't find it
Right.
anywhere. Which
Hey,
is
they
kind of,
they gave you they
you know.
gave you 9 dice. Give Fantasy Flight
Well,
some
yeah, but
credit.
the dice you roll though,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's
Yeah, this one I got around the same time as like Arkham Horror like second edition and uh I just I just did not like it. I
you
don't
would like the
like
story aspects though, I think not, I mean, not say you'd love the game, but I think it would make
right.
it like I don't know what you rated Elder Sign, a 6. I
It's,
could I
yeah, that might be generous
I
at
could
this
see the
point.
story elements making it at least a 7 for you. I mean,
Well, the
it
problem
makes it better,
yeah,
you
the
know.
problem is it's so far back. Funny enough, there's these games almost like playing old video games where you're like, ugh, I can't like don't get me wrong, there's a window of like video games where it's like I love 8-bit, like old, like 30 years ago video games still work.
Right.
Or 90s, like Nintendo 64 still works. But there's that window of like the 2000s games, like Stalker is the best example where I'm like, oh, I can't even do this. But yeah, I can do even older. The problem with this one is I have Elder Sign, Elder Horror, Cthulhu Death May
Hmm.
Die, that it's like there's probably nothing that this game could offer me that I'd be like, oh wow, this is actually pretty good, you know? Because the
Yeah,
story, I
that's
mean,
true.
so I mean, but I've always wanted to give it another go round so many years later, even
Hmm.
from whenever I played it, because I didn't play it in 2011. Um, I probably played it 2015 when
Yeah.
Fantasy Flight was, in their heyday. But it was just base game. So yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe the story stuff would kind of
I'm not gonna
elevate it
say
a
it's gonna
little
make
bit
a
more.
huge, but yeah, maybe a point's worth for
Yeah,
you. I
where I'm
mean,
all of a sudden trying to find my copy.
right.
Uh, all right. Well, my number 89 was 89 last year. So this is the
Ah,
one that stayed the same. And it was 71 the year before. Dipped. Well, actually, it didn't dip at all from last year, which is kind of interesting. And which is also kind of weird because I have not played this recently, but I think whenever I was doing the top 100, I was in that headspace of just like now really thinking of how often I've played it. Because I think last year I definitely did that of like, well, I haven't played this in a while, so it can't be good. Hence why Talisman fucking flew off, and the year before it flew off, and now I'm just like, eh, I still like Talisman. This game is great. I was I was watching actually a gameplay video of it because it was on Paul Grogan's channel. And I was like, oh, I'll just watch this playthrough for no reason. And that is Anachrony. I have the Infinity Box. You can actually not see it. Right there. Right there. There it is. There it is right there. It has not been open since I organized it. Because these fucking or it's like, ooh, yes, it's organized. Anyway, not gonna touch it. Um, like that one right there. That one. That one right there.
Everdell.
That yep, that game. Uh anyway, because you have not played a Mind Clash game. Um, I
No,
know
I
you
think I
haven't.
think I actually I think I got some of it and Awaken Realms
You
confused.
get yeah, you're like, no, I've played this one. I'm like, that's not
Yeah,
Mind Clash because
yeah.
Mind Clash is Anachrony, Tricarion, Perseverance, Voidfall, Septima. Septima's okay. It's the only Mind Clash game that I haven't played Cerebria, which I think is a game about emotions. Most people didn't really like that. I
That
owned it for
yeah. The
I
Ember
want to
Heart that's
try
down there.
Ironwood.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Ironwood
what?
looks good. Ember Heart that's down a little bit. That one just
Oh
came
yeah.
out. And it's kind of like in their lighter line. They have
Yeah.
that line, but it's actually supposed to be really good.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, Ironwood is like a two-player game. Um, but oh, and Revenant. Well, that's next year. So, but I've actually played most of their games. Voidfall is very, very good. It was kind of one of those games that I was like, I will never play this again. Uh, so which Anachrony might have actually hit that window if I got this game now, I'd be like, man, this is really good. I don't want to play it. But that's not the case. Anachrony is an amazing worker placement game with an awesome theme of like time travel, which is utilized really, really well because it has this cool system of like if you need resources, you're like, oh shit, I really need water for whatever reason. You can borrow water from like your past self or your future self, I can't remember which one, to use, but then there's a window where you have to like try and pay it back. And if you don't, then it creates paradoxes. And paradoxes are ways like that if you get enough of them, it creates anomalies. And those become negative victory points. And you can still get rid of anomalies, but you kind of have to kill a worker to do so. Uh, I mean, I'm mainly talking about the base game because the base game is not necessarily that complex. Like it's your standard worker placement. Um, where you have a bunch of different workers. You have like engineers, scientists, geniuses, and those go to different areas of the board. Like there's areas where you can hire more workers, there's areas where you can gather resources, and you use those resources to build buildings in your um factions hub area. So it becomes kind of one of those games where you're doing less out on the main board and you're doing a lot more in your own faction area because it could either be free actions or your own personal actions. But this actually looks like a prototype copy of the game. Um, but they have this really cool element. I think I saw a picture of them. Yep, right here, which I have. These are painted, but This is with like the mech suit upgrade where you have to take one of your workers and you can slot them in because that's the only way they can survive out in the wasteland to do those main board actions. But it's it's so good. Like it's a worker placement game where you eventually can get an awesome engine going. Everyone has like their own factions prep for launch or prep for doomsday ability that it's like you kind of want to complete so you can gather a bunch of victory points at the end of the game.
Okay.
Uh, there's really cool game breaking super projects that you can oh, perfect. This is actually a good picture. Yeah, there's like super projects up here that you can complete that are really powerful. So I'm not saying this is a simple game by any means, but like it's I feel like it's intuitive. It's not complex for the sake of being complex. I can feel like I can teach this game and it's graspable versus like, oh, okay, to teach you how to place a worker, you need to understand 10 different things. Um, it's like, so what do I do on my turn? Well, your turn's actually simple. You just place a worker. But, it's not one of
Right.
those which Mind Clash is very good about doing. And for the longest time, this was the best solo variant. Back whenever I think I did the top 10 solo variants for myself, and Anachronies is really, really good. Probably one of David Turchi's best. Um, and then they have a bunch of expansions for it, bunch of different module expansions that I haven't played in, a hot minute. Um, yeah, the Future Imperfect, the Fractures of Time, the Doomsday Enhancement Pack. Those are, I mean, very well received, but I cannot really remember much of them. I've played the Fractures of Time one, but it's been many years. So yeah, like I think you would really like this one. I think you would really like the solo. Uh, I think you would also like Tricarion, and I think you would like Perseverance too, especially with your Euro uh what's the word? Your Euro boner. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Uh, that I don't know. I don't know if this would be one that you would run out of my house trying to find a copy. Uh, but I think you'd have a good time.
I think the thing that irritates me with this game is there's been a handful of versions of it. There's like all
Yeah.
these different stupid versions, and I don't know what holds what. There's the Anachrony Essential. There's Anachrony this. There's the
You're
Infinity
right.
Box. There's all this. So I like when I look at it and I was like, do I want to buy it? It's like, what does this have in it? You know? So it's
Yeah,
just
that's true. They had a weird release window where it's like, because you would always ask me, you'd be like, "Hey, does this have everything?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
hmm
Like, I know my copy has everything because I'm pretty sure it's the Anachrony, it's the Infinity Box. God, did
Yeah,
that
that
come
one
out
has it
5 years
all.
ago?
Yeah.
Fuck my asshole. Um, yeah, includes every expansion and module release for Anachrony so far. It's like if they announce anything more for this game, I'm gonna sue the company. But like, I mean, your best bet, here you go. There you go, man. Right there. 250 from this guy.
That's all right.
Like,
I'll try it. That's one I want to try before I spend a lot of money on.
uh, that's fair. I mean, I would be if you played this and then you were like, it's okay, I would just assume you're being a contrarian at this point because I'd be like, there's no reason why you shouldn't like this game.
Yeah,
It's like you went into it not wanting to like it,
right.
because it's great.
No, I
Like
mean, I've
it's
always heard good things and I'm interested. I just, I still just I've never played with me not playing Mind Clash before. I just want to try it out and see what it's going to
yeah.
be like.
This to me, this is their best one.
Yeah.
Like it's not their well, is it their oldest? Probably
No,
not.
Tricarion is their oldest one.
Oh, that came out before.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yep. Tricarion
Uh,
is their first one.
Tricarion is also very good, but Anachrony, I mean, I don't think Tricarion is in my top 100.
Right.
I can almost
It,
100% tell you
it
that
used to
it
be.
is not. It used to be both of them were really high for
Yeah,
the longest time. Tricarion is actually 166,
yeah,
so not too far out. And I have the collector's edition for that one. That one's a lot more manageable. But
right.
um, yeah, those two are pretty much my only Mind Clash. No, sorry, I have Perseverance episodes 1 through 4, but that's a whole nother stupid thing that they
Yeah.
decided to do. So yeah, my number 89 or whatever is Anachrony.
All right. My number 88 is another game that it fell 30 spots. It was 58 last year, and it fell because I haven't played it. But it's usually hovered right around the 50s or 60s for the last several years. It's a game you haven't played yet. Um, and the reason I like this game, and I go back to it whenever the time is, whenever I find time to get to it, is because of it kind of flips Euro on its head a little bit. This one came out in 2011, also, just like Elder Sign. And that is Last Will. Um, this one, the reason it turns Euro on its head is because everybody starts out with a big lump sum of money, and your goal is to spend it as fast as you can. You're trying to spend it, and whoever spends their money and goes bankrupt first wins the game. It's kind of like Brewster's Millions, the board game, that old 80s movie that I don't know if you know anything about the movie, but
Yeah, he's like what? He's bet that he couldn't spend a
yeah,
million
he
in
has
a
to spend
day.
$1 million in a day to
Yeah.
get like a fortune or something like that. But
Yeah, I've never seen it. It's like, hey, to get even more money, blow a million
right.
dollars in a day.
Yeah, so that's kind of what
God,
this
the 80s were
is.
a different time, weren't they?
Yep, they was.
Imagine trying to make that today. It's like I think we're gonna have some problems.
Yeah. It'd be easy to spend 1 million in a day now.
It's true.
Um,
It's like a what, couple months rent?
yeah. So anyway, this one is interesting because it's and it has an expansion, but I'm just mainly talking about the base game right now. But you pretty much are doing wacky shit like you can when you go to the opera, make sure and bring somebody with you. If you buy a yacht and go onto a yacht, you can bring a horse with you, or you can bring a horse to the restaurant with you, or you're just trying to find these ludicrous ways of blowing through your money. You also um, will gain properties as you go through. Um, and the properties, you need to get rid of all the properties before you can go bankrupt. But there's that bound because they depreciate over time. Um, and some of them will, but then they get to a point where you might have to sell it, and if you sell it, then you're getting more money. So then that's more money you have to spend off again. So the winner of this game is whoever has no money left and no properties left. And then if nobody does that, it's a 7 round game, and then whoever has the least amount of money uh, wins. So it's a unique little game because I've never, you know, well, this is kind of a weird year over because like there's games like Space Station Phoenix and stuff where you start with your full ship and you're trying to knock it down
Oh
to
yeah.
do something else. I mean, this was kind of I think this game was ahead of its time, to be honest with you, with the stuff that you have to do. You're just trying to because you're usually trying to save up money to do stuff. This one, you're just wanting to
Hmm.
blow through it as fast as humanly possible. The expansion adds a uh, another deal. There's another game that the Prodigals Club, I think. The Prodigals Club is another a side game to this that where you're trying to getting sacked. That's the expansion for this. That's where you're trying to get fired also. So
Oh,
you have to get fired, lose your money, and have no properties. So you do all the stupid shit at your job to try to get fired. But
that's
the
funny.
Prodigals Club is it's a standalone game that does the same stuff, but you are I want to say you are like a politician. I want to say you're a politician. I haven't played that one in a long time. You're like an upstanding citizen, and you're trying to make your self be a just a worthless piece of crap by the end of it
China
to win.
Oh, there it is.
Um, so this one you are lose
Oh yeah,
votes,
yeah.
and your friend, yeah. So you're trying to just become a piece of shit more or less. But
Oh, if you're in politics, well, then you already
oh, right,
win.
right, exactly. So anyway, but those two games kind of go hand in hand with stuff. But Last Will's a blast. Like I said, it came out in 2011, but it's still one of those games that just is super fun to play.
Nice.
It says best at four. I mean, I mean, you're just trying to blow your money, so playing at two's fine. Three's fine, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean,
Nice.
this is a good classic one to
Yeah, I guess this
try.
would definitely be considered a classic at this point.
Hmm.
Nice. All right. My number 88 is new to the list, and for anyone watching, they might be surprised that this is actually in my top 100. I'm also surprised myself because I had done a series on this channel for it, but we did not finish it because we weren't really having that good of a time. But someone was selling a copy for a really good price of everything for it, and I was like, I'll give it one more shot, and we've been having a lot of fun, and that is Vagrant
Vagrant
Song.
Song.
So, I mean, one, my love for boss battlers, which was actually why at the time I wasn't really I was surprised I didn't like it, just because it's in that old school fucking hey, let me just zoom in. It's in that old school, like, I want to say like Betty Boop, that rubber band kind of
Yeah,
cartoon. Uh, Not necessarily Cuphead, but it's pretty adjacent to that. But so I really like the art style, and it was a pure boss battler. Like, every scenario was you on this train. Here we go. Fighting a different Haint. And throughout the fight, I mean, each boss fights differently, based off of their mood because they have a different set of what they're doing. But and you also have like different goals that you can try to do to get to unlock maybe a unique item or something. But pretty much, like, you have this really cool kind of concept of after a fight, you go into like the in between, which is thematically while you're on this train heading somewhere, it's what you're seeing, as you're passing by. That's kind of like what's happening between the hands, and you move to like the next car, and then it's like here's this old, new type of boss that you're fighting. Um, but for some reason, like, whenever I originally played it, I just didn't really like the system. I didn't like how you drew actions from a bag to see what the boss was gonna do, or when you were attacking, you rolled dice to see if you were able to hit. But this second go round, I think it could be a combination of not having to record, just being able to casually play it, kind of know what the game really is. We've been having a really good time. I'm also playing a different character that I think fits more my playstyle. These are the five vagrants. I am playing the Songsmith. Uh, and last time I was playing the Runaway 'cause she has a dog. But yeah, like, now, like, the different Haints that we're fighting are, I mean, the boss fights were always still constructed really well. So they've just been really fun. It could be the deluxe version that I have because I have everything for it. I know it had a few expansions, a lot of scenarios where which is kind of interesting. I'm very curious on this one because it's called Amigo and the Devil, and funny enough, I'm literally wearing a shirt from the band Amigo the Devil. So I don't know if this is a play on that or if that's actually a phrase from somewhere else.
right.
Um, but yeah, so I have the scenario packs that you can just play, but then the two big ones were the Off the Rails and Encore expansions. But I haven't had a chance. I know this adds more bosses to the fight, so it's a lot more stuff to the game. But yeah, like, I've been having a really good time with this one. So if you like boss battlers, and this one is definitely, I mean, it is a campaign, but it's a very manageable campaign.
Right.
like it's very easy to just pack up and put away and then just break it out and you're just like okay because it is literally just this board and then your characters with a few items and stuff and then the bindle which now with the copy that I have because it was like tokens like the old quacks where you had to draw
Right.
cardboard tokens now and it was like in this tiny ass bag it was so awful now it's in a much bigger bag with coin capsules and it it is the deluxe version kind of enhances the experience a lot more, but this also is extremely affordable just because it's not minis. It's very nice acrylic standees. And and yeah, like I've kind of done a 180 on it.
Interesting.
That's my 89 Vagrant Song.
We try. I never did play. I owned the base game for a while and then got rid of it. I never played it because I knew you said you didn't like it. So,
Yeah, like I didn't, but I think I don't know, someone was selling their copy of everything for like 150, which I remember on their last thing was like 300. If I remember right, it was like
yeah.
extremely overpriced for what I felt like you were getting. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I can't really lose here.
Yep.
So yeah, it is now the other thing that sucks is like their big box version is it's so stupid. It literally is just a black box that says Vagrant Song on it, and that's it. It's like, okay, you have this really cool cover art
Hmm.
for it, and you do nothing with it. It like even the Vagrant Song isn't doesn't look as good as this title. So
Hmm.
they just really lazied out on that big box.
Interesting.
Um, but anyway, yep, that's my 89 or 88 Vagrant Song.
All right, my number 87 is new to the list. Um, and this one had a lot of hype coming out of around Gen Con and stuff like that. But this is called The Hobbit There and Back Again.
The
Um,
Hobbit.
so this is a, I guess you'd say, it's not really a roll and write. It's kind, I mean, it kind of is. I don't know. It's so what you're doing pretty much is everybody's going to have their own like book, right? And the books like have chapters in them, and you are and obviously if you look, you're using dry erase markers. But what happens is there will be all these dice rolled. Um, and then you dice draft. So whoever the first player is will draft one of the dice first, and then around the table and so on and so forth. Each different page you turn is a different chapter in the deal with different map, different everything. But you are, like I said, drafting dice, and then some of the dice have like um, routes on them. So like what you need to draw on your path. It'll kind of tell you which way to go and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
There's also swords because there's going to be like I don't know like your bad guys on your goblins, your trolls, stuff like that'll be on the board, and you are so you may have to battle them. You probably want to try to avoid some of them by moving around them if you get the right dice to move around. Um, and you're collecting your resources and stuff, so you'll cross them off on the left. So that's why I guess that makes it rolling, right? But it was one that because it's a Reiner Knizia deal.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because like I like the book setup. I like how it's because it's a competitive game, which is weird. The solo variant's really good. I've only played it solo. Um, I don't understand the competitiveness because it's not really the theme isn't competitive,
Oh,
like
right.
like
Yeah.
but what you're doing is you're going through the there's 8 challenges in this whole game,
Okay.
and it's going through the Hobbit. So there's going to be some ones with the dwarves. You're at the end. I assume at the end you're going to be dealing with Smaug and all those
With
guys. But
Smaug.
yeah, but I've only played the first two a couple of times so far. But
Okay.
it's a neat little game. I mean, it's I don't know if it'll maintain at all. I mean, I don't know what the replayability is going to be further
Probably
down.
none. It's a rolling, right?
Well, right, but I mean, at least the dice are going to be different. So when you're drawing your paths and stuff, you may end up interacting more with creatures and stuff if
Yeah,
you don't get the
I mean,
right
I guess it
dice, you know?
it it it, it depends on how much you like your variety. Like, I mean, 10 is the same way. The objectives are going to be different, but it's like
Hmm.
it's still you still go through the same shit, just in a different order, you know?
Right, right.
So at least this is Lord of the Rings, which just elevates it even higher. Well, it's The
Yeah,
Hobbit, but
right, but it's still in that world.
yeah,
So I'm just, right now I'm like
it's
I'm
just fucking art, man.
I'm liking it. Um, it's kind of interesting, huh?
It's something.
It
It's
doesn't
like
seem like
the
it matches the cover art, like that picture,
oh yeah,
because like the
yeah.
cover
That's
art is kind of a little more,
if
you
it
know,
looks like it'd be a little more
like whimsical or
regular
something.
cartoon.
Yeah,
Who is the artist?
it's not somebody I've heard of. It's
Lorenzo
Lorenzo Colon.
Calangeli.
Yeah.
Yep, no idea.
So anyway, it's definitely worth because it's not an expensive game. I think it was only like
Sure.
35 or something, maybe 40, but yeah, I mean it's fun and I'm
You
curious to
know
see
what?
where it goes from here.
Hot
What?
take. All roll and writes should be free. They should all be print and play. Because man, I just don't know how you justify these, man. Like they're so I mean, like not saying that this game is bad by any means. I imagine it's good for a playthrough, and then you're like, okay, done with that game forever.
Yeah. Well, if it means anything, like I said, I've played the first two scenarios, I think, three times because I've taught it to
Yeah,
people and done stuff like that, and I've enjoyed it each time I played it still.
right.
So I mean, there is a little bit of stuff to it, but but it doesn't get old, hasn't gotten old for me yet on those
Yeah,
and stuff, just because the dice randomize it so much and what other people pick and stuff. The only part that's weird to me is the competitiveness aspect.
sure. Yeah, I can
But
see that.
But other than that, yeah, I mean it's definitely worth a shot to try, especially for the cost, just to see what it's, you know, get your
Right.
play out of it. You're at least gonna play it 8 times because it's got eight scenarios.
That's
But
true. That does elevate it a little bit more. I like the
yeah,
book element.
yeah.
So
So
that's pretty cool. Nice.
yep.
All right. My number 87. But oh, God, it's like never mind. It rose. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
higher. Um fell. It was 48 last year and 53 the year before, so fell 39 spots. Uh this was a game that I technically showed you, but I think we played it at the same time. Um and I've actually shown this to a few people, and it's always a game that they want to like play again, just because it's an absolute blast to play, and that is Project Elite.
Oh yeah.
I have the sexy CMON version that, for some reason, out of all the games that they made, this is the one that they controlled themselves on content, and this is the one that I wish had a ton more content.
It's probably
Uh,
because because they were helping out that other company to finish it and they didn't do any design on it, I bet. I
That
think,
yeah, that might be it.
you
Where
know.
it was just already stuff that they just yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're probably looking back and they're like, damn, we didn't have the money to even print this one, because we can't even make our own stuff.
Yeah.
But Project Elite is the epitome of a tower defense game, a real-time tower defense game, where you are playing as like these Marines, moving around on this map as hordes of enemies are just rushing towards you. It's real time in the sense that you have a bunch of dice that you are rolling that will allow you to move, activate your guns to fire in a, depending on how the gun fires. And you are just running around and mowing down hordes of enemies. It is so much fun. It's so chaotic every single time. And what's cool is that it's not one of those, non-stop real-time games. Is like the dice rolling part obviously is, and you have a timer that the game comes with, or you could literally just use your phone. But then whenever you're spawning enemies, whenever you're seeing what the objectives are or the event phases, All that is just casual as you're wanting to take it. Like that's not real time. Um, so there's always a segment of like when you're spawning the enemies, there's like tons of them are coming out. And sometimes it's bosses that like these red minis are the bosses that have more unique rules to them. Because there's only like three or four mob enemies that all are like the same. Hey, here's the grunts, they do nothing but move forward. Here's the runners, they can move twice. Here's the shooters. Here's things that fly, and I think that's literally it. But then you randomly could get a boss that comes out that's like, hey, this thing spits out slime and can slime you and then move forward. This thing has a bunch of health, whatever it might be. Um, I mean, in terms of like if you're playing a tower defense video game, this is easily one of the best board game iterations of that. And I mean, honestly, I'm not even saying that this game needed a million different expansions. There's a ton that the game does come with, but like it has a few different map packs, but I'm just more surprised with Simon being Simon that, you know, it didn't have 40 different boxes that you had no way to store it. Uh but yeah, it just it feels so good when you're rolling dice and then you're moving and everyone's doing the exact same thing. So like you're so focused on your stuff that you're just taking the minis and chucking them, and then you're like, okay, whoo, we killed everything. We're good. And then it's like, all right, time to spawn everything, and then it's like you're just like,
Yeah.
uh-oh. It, it's just a blast. And I played a version of this where you're in mech suits. So I think they have like six characters where you're just in these big, massive mech suits that have like their own specifically assigned weapon to it. So that feels really awesome. This is just a pure like, and I say this phrase in a positive way, like just a thrashy kind of trash game. Um, and and yeah, like if you can, I don't even know if it's how easy or hard it is to find a copy of this. Um, but if you're able to grab a copy, then like this is one of the most fun games that I have in my collection. Uh, just say best with four. I've played it at two and three. I don't think I've ever actually. I think last time I brought it to a game day, there were four of us, but I think we ended up playing like like we played Shawson that took like 3 hours, and that fucking sucked. So it sunk a lot of time, so we weren't able to get this to the table. But I'll get it there. Oh, here's a good picture. Yeah, because pretty much you lose if any one enemy gets into this area. Like, but it's also very clean. This game does not get like muddy at all on like, well, how are they moving? Whenever it's time for them to move, they just follow the arrow, and that's it. And they'll
Yep.
push each other or move. Yeah, like so like you have strategy whenever you're trying to figure out. It's like, oh shit, like we're all up here and we missed a runner and he's like all the way down here now. So now we have to like book it back and like, oh shit, like see if we can kill him. Or it's like, oh no, cool, I have this rail gun that kills everything in a single line. He's in my it's there's tons of different weapons, few different maps, decent handful of bosses. So this one's a blast. And actually, no, it isn't two boxes. Never mind. I was like, I think it all fits in one box. I have a 3D insert for the game, so that helps. But that's my number 80 something. 87?
87. Yeah.
Yep, that's my 87. Project Elite.
All right. My number 86 was a game that was 121 last year. I got it played once this year and it bounced up. This is one that could possibly go higher if I start actually getting it played more. I want to see what the expansion adds to it as well. You have this game, I don't think you've played it yet, and that is Twa. Um, so
Yeah, I do. I have not played this yet.
yeah, this one is my oldest game in this segment. Came out
Is it
2010.
Twa? Because
That's how you say it.
pronounced, I know, but it's like pronounced
Yeah.
Two. Like, like on BGG it says. I
Yeah.
mean, this might be Twa, but like with the OAH makes me think of like, oh, whoa. So
That's
it's
how they do kind of, because in French, that ending in the name of the game, that is the wah sound,
gotcha.
like all that stuff. So anyway, so this one is interesting because this also has a um it's adjacent to a game that you have played, the Black Angel.
Hmm.
So that are not identical, of course, but Black Angel came out well after this and kind of
Yeah.
had some stuff. But if you look at this, like your player colors are in the very, very center of that little pie deal, and you'll get dice and you'll roll them and stuff. And then what's interesting aspect of this is you're going to be taking actions based on your dice color. But you need to have a certain number to be able to do a specific thing. So like you can actually use other somebody else on there and pay them to use one of their dice to add to your deal.
Hmm.
So like if you were red and you have the you're doing a yellow action and it looks like he has 12. So if you needed 18, you could pay the green guy money to use his 6 yellow.
Right.
But there's a deal. You don't just pay him $6. You have to pay him like depending on how many dice you have and all that different stuff. So it's pretty expensive. But you could still do it. Um, so you're gonna have these underlings, these like, because you're kind of an upstanding group and you have all these like the peasants or the underlings, and you're gonna send them around to do stuff. So like they're gonna be you can have them work on the cathedral. You can have them move around the city and do stuff. Um, you can have them. There's other little actions that you can do that are beneath the stature of your family, and you're gonna have them go do the bullshit. Um, so the expansion, I need to get the expansion at some point because it's called the Ladies of Troyes, and I don't know what that changes, but this is your Euro. I mean, and it's fairly heavy. I mean, it's not the heaviest out there, but for what it is, I mean, there's a lot of decisions to be made. There's a lot of um interaction when you start looking at stuff with using other players' dice and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But like I said, this one jumped 35 spots and finally made it into the top 100 for the first time. Um,
Nice.
and if I get it played, I don't see it ever falling because I like Euros that use that dice stuff. Like I love Lorenzo Magnifico that uses dice, and I like, all these different games that have the dice stuff that you can use. Um, and everything. So it's the board looks fairly simple. I mean,
Yeah.
you have these cards laid out and you just kind of go with that. But the decision making and um the stuff uh like on I was trying to find a picture here to see if I could I don't see a good one though. But yeah. So the core aspect is that dice mechanic. Like that dice thing in the middle is kind of the crux of the game. That's going to be kind of your way of picking your actions that you take, and then how
Yeah.
strong the action is going to be depending on what your dice is and stuff. But it's a good one. I mean, it's definitely an older one. It's 15 years old now. Uh, so
Damn.
yeah, I mean it's definitely still good today. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, the Ladies of Troyes, I don't know if it adds any like um, extra boards or expand your options and list your families uh, to the claim. Okay.
New purple dye.
So
Ooh.
it adds another action. Okay. So yeah,
Cool.
I mean it's definitely a good game where if you like Euros and you haven't played it, give it a shot because it's definitely a solid entry into the genre.
Yeah. Black Angel never really took off after this. It used a lot. I mean, they're pretty much different games. The only core synergy between them is the dice system.
Hmm.
So Yeah, I'll get this one played at some point. But my number 86, Rose. It was actually 104 last year, so not yeah, okay. Yeah, 104 last year and 56 in 2023, so it rose 18 spots. And that is Mantis Falls.
Mm.
Um Mantis Falls I absolutely love. One because my personalized copy has a picture of my cat that passed away a few years back, so this game will never leave my collection. But it was also the first game that, I mean, literally says like it's a cooperative game. It's like a trader hidden role game designed for two or three people. Which at the time just completely blew my mind. This has a really unique like gameplay style that I haven't really seen in anything else. I don't even think this company has made anything else
Right.
since then. But the theme is that you are in like the witness protection program, like you just saw something that the mafia did or the mob did, and you are meeting uh the person who's trying to help you escape the city. You're meeting them at an inn, not an inn, God, was it diner? I'm like one of those shitty food places like Waffle House, a diner, but you're not sure if because you don't know who you're supposed to be meeting except you're supposed to be meeting someone. So, which are both the players. So thematically, it's like, is this the guy that's supposed to help me get out, or did they already get to him and this is actually an assassin? Um, but you'll be at the start of the road. You're trying to get to the end of the road by overcoming. It's actually a great picture. Um, by overcoming challenges, like there'll be events that you have to deal with, and there's tons of ways for you to like defend yourself or get information on who the other player is, trying to seed out whether or not they are um actually on your side or not. So you'll be gathering allies, has a little set collection element to it that once you get each person, then you unlock the ability that they have. Uh, and it works both, like it works really well. It's designed for two, but the three-player game is not bad at all. Pretty much what it does is it kind of rotates as who is kind of like the side person that's like not really involved in the encounter because you each have to deal with an event per the cards that you're coming along with on the road. But because they'll have different challenges that you might have to meet based off where you're at. Um, but it's a really unique game. Um, I wonder if there's like an insert for this because the way it's stored right now is not awesome. A lot of the cards are basically shoved into these bags, like the action cards you just put into a bag, which is gimmicky in its own way, but it's like I'd rather just have a more organized solution. It's a small footprint game. Like this really just feels like whoever designed it, which like. Let me click on
There
that. Yeah,
there is an insert
Adrian,
for it.
there is.
Yep.
Oh,
It's
that's
on the
hot.
on Bamboo's thing.
Nice. Yeah, this Adrian designer, he just had something he wanted to make, and I think he made something absolutely unique. So, if you like hidden role games or deduction games, but because most of them require large groups, like a lot of them, like Blood on the Clock Tower that everyone loves, that almost is like a convention game. Or you have to organize it to get it to work. Well, this game does that exact same feeling in a cool theme. They actually made their own soundtrack for the game, which is awesome. Has that really gritty noir vibe that completely sells it as a two-player game. So, or if you have three, that works really well too. I'd say it's best with two. Um, but yeah, you get all these different cool items that can help you attack someone, and there's like a window of like when do you if you're the assassin, do you when do you reveal yourself? How much info like how much information do you try and get to set them up to where they might just get hurt? And you're like, I didn't know. Um, to try and get them killed, and knowing what these cards are can be can be a really big advantage because there's one card in here that like is like an Uno reverse card where if someone's trying to damage you, you're just like, actually, no, I'm gonna counter that. So if you happen to draw that, you might just hold on to it just in case. Um, yeah, I really really like this game. It's just one of a kind. So,
I think I need to
Um,
pick it up.
yeah, I think every time I bring it up, you're like, I need to get this one. I'm like, I agree.
They have it at tabletop. I just never
Oh, that's
grab it.
awesome.
But
Well, that's cool that they actually have it in because I would just assume this would be like a pass around from owner to, not going to be in like stores.
yeah,
But they have their website, but man, yeah, they've only made this one game.
interesting.
Uh, and this designer has only made one game. So this came out, yeah, 4 years ago. It's a good one. So that's my number 86.
All right, my number 85 is new to the list. It's a game you showed me
Nice.
not too awfully long ago. I guess it was in 2025 because the game is a 2025 release, but it was before you moved. Um, and that is One Hit Heroes.
Oh, nice.
Um, so this one, uh, I didn't have much hope going into it, when you showed me, but then after we played through a couple of the scenarios and worked up to the boss and all that jazz, um, ended up being really cool, the system and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So it's called One Hit Heroes because if you take one hit, you die. But there's ways to mitigate that, because you have items that you can use and discard to protect yourself if you're getting hit. Um, and what's cool is like when you first open up this game, you have what you have, and you'll gain more stuff as you win scenarios and stuff. So you'll gain more stuff to go to your armory, and you can, upgrade yourself and all that. That I like the aggro system,
Yeah.
um, because the more aggro you are, the more damage, obviously, but it's also makes the boss stronger. Excuse me. Excuse me. Um,
Mm,
but so the boss actually gets stronger if you're super aggro as well. So, because of course you roll the dice and you know you're gonna take some shit.
yeah.
Um, it's not a it's a pretty thinky game. I mean, as simple as kind of this stuff looks, but it's still pretty thinky with stuff.
Yeah.
Um, we played it at two. I don't know let's see, it says best at two or three. So,
Yeah. Which is the
um,
only player count I've played it as 2 and 3.
right. And it says, because I played it solo and it says recommended 100%, but there's not a ton because it's not like a super. I actually see retail copies of this at tabletop too. They have three or four
Nice.
of the retail copies, but
Cool.
anyway, so yeah, I mean this one is a really. Does he have a? Is that a? Did ours have that little plastic over covering?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't played it in a while. I
Yeah,
couldn't
it
remember.
comes off as like I mean, it is a really cheap game
Hmm.
to get. So like it's not the most bougie game you've ever seen, but I mean, it's extremely functional.
Yeah,
Very
and
quick to set up.
there's so much in the box in the game because each like set, or I don't know what they call it, each uh
Episode.
episode, yeah,
Episode.
has all these different things in that box, all the
Yeah.
scenarios leading up to the boss, and then it said season one, and we wondered if they were going to come out with a season two, and you saw that they announced that they were going to be coming out with a season two,
Yeah.
so that's going to be really cool. The character design is really neat for them. I
I
played
do
that.
like the art. Yeah, it comes off as like old, almost like Saturday morning
Yeah,
cartoon
yeah,
art.
yeah. Because I played that Flame Fist guy,
Right.
Roar, whatever his name was. But
I
yeah, I
played the
mean this,
sniper last time, and
yes,
she was like all the characters play pretty different from one another, but you kind of have this roguelite feel.
Hmm.
whenever you're playing, because like you said, once you finish an episode, you unlock like their treasury, and it's like, hey, here's all the items from like kind of the bosses. It's kind of tied to the theme of the episode. Like
Yeah.
this one is all kind of robot cards. This one is your Western kind of cards. Like, hey, you got a whiskey bottle that does something.
Hmm.
Um, which is a really cool idea.
Well, and it's neat because this game, it came out with 6 characters.
Hmm.
If you got, I don't know if the retail has the 6. I'm sure it does, but
Yeah, I think the ex whatever the expansion was like a something for it to help with the solo.
yeah. And then there's
Yeah, the
that let.
doggo companion pack. There he
Yeah, it's
is.
it. And I don't think I have that. When I bought this collection off of a guy, I don't think he added the doggos. So I need to find that.
Gotcha.
Um, but um, but then there's that other expansion that's
Whoops.
um,
Oh,
the
the
last,
epilogue.
yeah, and that's one that you take on at the end.
Yeah.
Like after you've done everything. I haven't obviously gotten to it yet, but yeah, this was a pleasant surprise. I'm interested to see what they do with season 2. See if they're going to do any big changes or if it's just going to be more of a good thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'd be perfectly happy with this same game,
Yep.
just 6 new heroes and 4 episodes.
Yep.
Keep the cost low so you can um just keep making seasons.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. I like this one quite a bit.
All right.
All right. My number 85, it was 128 last year. So, man, a lot of stuff climbing out of the top 100 back in. And it was 88 in 2023, so rose 43 spots. And as I was like looking back on games that rose pretty high, like I said, I took a priority to two-player games, hence why Mantis Falls came back in, and hence why this game came back in, even though it's been a bit since I played it, and that is Onitama. Now, been a while since you thought of this one, huh?
Well,
It's been a while.
it's funny you bring that up because a couple weeks ago, because I have the app and
Oh yeah.
I actually played it on the app.
Oh, nice.
I've never played
Uh,
the physical version.
that's right. Yeah. I've only played the physical version. Um, no, I was thinking about this game because funny enough, whenever I was getting like the next portion of my tattoo done, and my artist was asking me about like board game recommendations, and she was talking about how like her and her daughter play like chess, and I was like, oh, and this made me make it think of Onitama because like if you like chess, here's one that's kind of puts it on its head. But yeah, like I said, Onitama has chess-like elements to it, but in such a cool way. Like there's these different like move cards that both sides have. They only have two, and then there's one in the middle. And your goal is to either kill the emperor, by moving up any piece, can take any piece. So by moving one of your pieces onto the emperor, or by getting your emperor to land on the opponent's throne. That's how you
Okay.
win, this game. And you have to pick one of your two cards to move in that pattern. So, I mean, if you have crab, then any of these at this point can only move up one because they can move into the highlighted squares. Or if you were doing this one, then your shogun can move diagonal, whatever it might be. Once you pick one of your cards to move one of your pawns in that pattern, you have to swap it with the one in the middle. So what makes this game amazing is the fact that throughout the game, you are going to be handing your opponent cards, and there's really, really good patterns that you're just like, I never want you to have this. So you just
Right.
never end up using it. Um, and so but it gets difficult because sometimes you'll have a pairing of like of unoptimal movements. But the fact that you can see where your opponent can move, he can see where you're moving, it creates this incredibly strategic but simple chess-like game. Um, that doesn't require foresight. Like this is not one of those games where it's like I have played chess more than you will not win. Um, like anyone can beat the opponent. Now, I mean, obviously, if you're just better at these kinds of games, that's a different story. But like, you don't have to have prior historical knowledge of how chess moves.
Right.
Um, and they've supported this in not the best way, in my opinion. I mean, they have like one expansion that is literally just um more pattern cards to move, but the other ones that they added, like the Light and the Shadow or the Path of the Wind, I don't think those expansions are actually very good. I think it muddies the game up uh more than it needed to be. So I think this game is just best at base game, and if you can get those extra, if you can get like these promo cards, or if you can get um the expansion that just added more patterns, I think that's all you really need for this game. Uh, because like one expansion added like this hidden movement element. There's like a secret ninja moving around. That you either try to find or he can see. It's like what fuck that all that shit. Just play this game the way it was intended, and you're gonna have an awesome two-player chess-like version that is completely unique from anything I've ever seen since this game came out. Um, so yeah, like I mean, very simple, very straightforward, but uh one to just have in your collection if you like kind of strategic games like this.
Yeah, and I can say that the app is done really well too.
Good deal.
Because it
Yeah, so
highlights, like when you play your card, it highlights the spots that you can
nice.
move to and kind of makes it, you know, a neat
Is
little.
it I'm assuming you play against like a bot.
Yeah, you can play other
Nice.
people too. I mean, but
Cool.
but the bot's mainly what I play against, just
Nice.
because, you know. But yeah,
Cool.
it's a good one. Okay, so my number 84 is a game that's been on my list for a long, long time. It's another 2010 game, and it usually stays like in the 70s, 80s. It's been that in that same zone pretty much this whole time. It was back when this company used to make good games. Um, well, still makes good games when they actually used to make games. How about that?
Yeah.
Uh, so it was 71 last year, so it dropped 13 spots, mainly just because other stuff jumped ahead of it, and that is Space Hulk Death Angel.
Oh,
Um,
we actually played this game not too long ago.
yep. Um, so hold on, my phone messed up. There we go. So anyway, but yeah, this one I play. I mean, it plays 2 to 4. I solo is still the best to me. Um, you just grab all the characters and you just go through it. It's like got the corridor combat stuff. So like the bad guys will pop on either side, you know. And you have to be facing matters with the cards. Um, and you're trying to do these objectives each round. Um, like go through a couple of objectives to hit the end game objective and stuff, but stuff just keeps piling up. The deck that moves them is brutal. This is a hard game,
Yeah.
to do anything with. Um, but as characters continue dying, then the column narrows and the stuff just kind of piles on top of each other as everything moves up. Um, every character has, I think, 3 cards that goes with uh each character that they can use, but they can't use it back to back. Like, so when you use, let's say, strategize on that one card, you can't use it until the following round because it has to stay dormant for a round
Right.
before you get it back. This is one of their small box games. And I kicked myself because I owned everything for this game a long time ago, and I got in this zone where I was just getting rid of games I wasn't hadn't played for a long time, so I sold it all, and then I wanted it back. And I got the after that went out of print, of course, so I got the base game at a decent price, and I got one of the expansions that I paid more for it than I did the base game, and it was only like 30 cards. And
Yeah.
there's two other expansions I still need to get, but those are going for like $100 for like 30 cards, and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
haven't picked those back up, but yeah, this is still, Fantasy Flight heyday game, like back when they were hammering out all the Warhammer stuff
Hmm.
and all the gritty stuff, their art and everything. This one is actually designed by Corey Konecka, who's done
Oh,
a ton of games over the time. This is kind of his a small box game. He usually does bigger stuff, but he was kind of Fantasy Flight's board game guy for a long time, like with Battlestar
yeah, man.
Galactica
This dude
and
has a resume
yeah.
like
So
Rune
Star
Wars,
Wars
Middle Earth
Rebellion.
Quest,
Yep.
Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah, Star Wars Rebellion's down there. Star Wars Outer Rim.
yeah,
Yeah.
Twilight Imperium fourth with well, Dane's the big guy for
Right,
that
right.
one, but um Mandalorian Adventures is the most recent. Dang.
Yeah. So I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff, and so this was kind of one of his small games, but yeah, I mean, this is one that will stay in my collection forever because it's a nice, fun one. I've done some stuff with 3D printing for it, um, and everything. So making little dashboards and stuff, but yeah, I mean,
Nice.
this is a good solid one. It's well out of print, but you can still find copies of the base game at a decent cost. Like you probably could get a base game for $40 right now
Yeah.
and stuff, but it's those little card expansions that are
Yeah, it's
hard.
oh, there's four of them.
Yeah, I have oh gosh, I think I have Mission Pack 1 and I have the Space Marine Pack 1, but I don't have
Okay.
Deathwing and the Tyranid
The
ones.
Tyranid enemy pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, this one's a fun little one.
yep.
I think I just have the base game.
Yeah. Oh, did
So,
you pick it back up?
I don't know if I ever got rid of it. I think
Well,
I
because I
always
was
had.
wanting to get it from you and because you had all the expansions at one point or something
No,
and
I,
you
I don't think I think you asked if I had all the
Oh, okay.
expansions. You like
Gotcha.
hoping that I just randomly had them.
Yeah,
But I don't think I do.
gotcha.
Nice. All right.
That'll work.
My number 84 was 83 last year, so it fell one spot. Sucks. I hate it. And it was new last year. So this is from a company that I'm pretty sure is entirely run by furries, and that is Dale of Merchants.
Yeah.
Technically the collection. Man, I hate this art. This fantastic Mr. Fox.
They should have
Like,
had Miko do it.
yeah, I probably would have preferred that. This shit is creepy. Um, the collection basically, funny enough, it doesn't come with everything. It has a version of, extra stuff for the game, but it now allows you to hold the Dale of Merchants 1, 2, and 3. Um, but yeah, this is kind of a hand deconstructing game that over the course of the game, I'm pulling up the first Dale of Merchants. You have the reason why I like this game a lot is because you have all these different animal factions that, depending on the kind of game that you want, I think there's actually it's either a website or an app that you put in the kind of game you want. Do you want it to be insanely lucky and high player interaction? Then it'll tell you to put in these and how many players there are, put in these different factions.
Right.
But what you're trying to do is you are buying these cards that allow you to play them either for their ability, like the Ocelots use like a die system, like the Bold Haggler. After deciding to take a market action using this card, you must roll a die, add the rolled value to this card's value. Because there are going to be cards out on the market that you're trying to buy. See if I can find a good picture. And of course I can't because for some reason people take horrible pictures. Like what are these? Low ink print and play cards. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sure people are clamoring to see that. Um, But essentially, you'll have these cards out on this market uh, that will have a particular value of what you're trying to get, and you're adding them to your deck. And if you don't need that, then you would get junk cards. But you use cards to pay for other cards, and eventually you are trying to get sets of cards out into your shop. And the first person to complete that set will win the game. But the reason why this game is in my collection, one, because uh the deck the deck building element is really good. The abilities of each of the factions are unique. So each time you play by throwing in random factions of your game, you're going to have a different experience based off of, the kind of game that you're wanting. Um, and what's neat also is this game tells you kind of what each faction is about, so you can tailor your experience into what fits your group the most. Now, with having three different versions, technically four with the collection edition, there's a ton of factions. Um, so that's a shtick in games that I really like, is being able to kind of cherry pick different things and throw it into like one big pot and then just play the game. And the game itself is relatively straightforward, but you'll eventually be buying cards to try and thin out your deck, which is normally not what you're doing. I mean, I guess in some deck builders you are, getting rid of the shitty cards, but you have a certain hand limit that you're trying to get rid of. Uh, but also it's like, well, this card's really good. When do I want to get rid of it and put it into my market to try and win the game? It's incredibly simple to learn, but I just think this game has a ton of variety to it. So, and it works well at two, which is the only time I've actually played it is at two.
Yeah. All
So
right.
that is my number 84.
Uh,
Yes,
yes.
84.
All right. My number 83 is a game I could have swore was on my top 100 at least at some point, but looking back, maybe it was pre 2019. But this made a jump. It was 127 last year. Um, and it was 143 the year before that, and then I missed it wasn't even on there for a couple, and then it was 113. So it's just kind of like finally making its way in
Wow.
for the first time. And it is Subterra.
Oh, nice.
Like I said, I could have swore this was in maybe in 2017 or 2018 it was,
Maybe.
but anyway, so this one is a
This is
really
cool.
fun. Oh, I use black lights.
That's neat.
Um, so this one is a kind of like a cave dwelling, like a cave exploring monster horror game.
Mm.
So you're taking a role of a spelunker, I guess, and you're going down and tiles get revealed and you're moving around. There's different uh things that to block your path, like there's narrow passageways, there's water, there's gas you have to go miss, all this different stuff. But the monster is going to be moving around the cave all the time. And this has that one mechanic, and because you're trying to, um, you're just exploring until you get down to where I think the exit is in like the final, I don't know, 5 to 10
Yeah, something
tiles
like
because
that.
there's a lot of tiles. But so then once you find the exit, then you're gonna get out of there. Um, but it's tricky because the monster is gonna constantly be chasing. And with all the, sometimes the tiles may come out to where there's this stupid, just a bunch of gas all in a row and all this different stuff.
Right.
The trick with this game though, and this is the part that gets brought up, when Z Garcia talks about this game, and I think when you've talked about this game is the end part, because
Mm.
once the I think it's when the exit is found, the lights go out.
No, it's
Or
you have
no, no,
a
no, no.
event
There's
deck.
yeah, there's an event deck. So when your flashlights go out, then you're just hauling ass and you're rolling dice and you have to roll a certain number to keep going. And you just have to
Yep.
keep rolling that until you get out. If you don't, obviously you're lost to the darkness.
Hmm.
Um, So it comes that at the end where you just, I need a six. Oh, I got a six. Keep going. Another six. Yes, yes, yes. And then, you
Right.
get within the light of the exit and then you die.
You're
It's like,
right. You're just like, and then just,
yeah. But this one has always been a blast anytime I've played it with anybody. Um, I haven't played the second one, but it doesn't really interest me at all.
the
Um,
second one's good. It just doesn't have the same atmosphere
right,
that
right.
this one does.
Because this
It's
creeps me out.
more, no, exactly, because no one in their right mind should be doing shit like this.
Right.
Um, but yeah, the second one, uh, it has kind of a more Indiana Jones adventure vibe of like,
hmm
and it's a little bit more involved because you're going in, and once you're looking for keys that allow you to get this artifact, and once you get the artifact, the second part of the game starts where the tiles start flipping and becoming lava. So you have to get in and get out. So both of them are worth owning. This one's more simple, but has that really good atmosphere of like basically if you've seen the Descent, it's that as a board game, and
Right.
that works extremely well.
Yep. Yeah. So that's my number, whatever it was, 83.
Nice. And the expansions for this one are pretty good too.
Yeah.
Uh, Giving you different missions
hmm
to go on and different investigators to play.
Yes. Agreed.
Um, but the company itself is doesn't exist anymore, and the designer doesn't design because he I mean someone else had to pick up Subterra too
Right.
to get it out to backers because I think this was one of those situations where he just mismanaged the money
hmm
and fucked over a bunch of people. All right, but yes, great game. Love this one. Actually, just I played it while I was in Oregon because we went to Oregon in October, so we kind of tried to do a lot of spooky things. We went
hmm
to they had like this underground uh uh um bootlegger thing. It was like
hmm
underneath like this pizzeria is where it was at, but it was kind of like this haunted underground bootleg kind of thing. And the tour guide for that one was eccentric, to say the least, is the word I would use. She was very good, but I was like, you're kind of a lot right now. And as
Yeah.
we're leaving, so side story, the person is hamming it up, everyone kind of hears things or sees things. Very animated. I did like her, but I was like, uh I'm like, you're not my energy. But as we're leaving, there's one girl in the group that was like, "Did anyone else like smell the ghost like the lady's perfume?" And everyone was like, "No." Like I'm like, and like because there was like some girl, I don't remember her name, but some girl that died and she haunts the area, and some people, feel like a touch on their shoulder or smell her perfume. And of course, there was one girl in the group who had to be like, I smelled it, and I'm like, well, I farted back there. No I'm kidding. But um, but it was really funny. I'm still going to go on the story because there was like an area that you had to walk in, and there was a door that you pushed on, and so she's telling the story, and she's kind of away from the door, and I'm standing next to it, and she's like, "All right, well, I'm going to have you, lead us into the next room," and she was talking to me. And I thought it was like some prank that they pulled. So I was like, really? So I pushed the door open and it hits the ground. And this is like some dark underground area. So
Right.
it made me jump because I was like anticipating them to be like, oh,
Right.
haha,
Right.
we're going to make the guest open the door and something's going to jump out. So I was expecting that. So when it hit the ground, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, so I killed everyone down there and hid their bodies. So that's what I did. Anyway, all that was to say, spooky thing, and we played Subterra. Great time.
Yep.
My number 83 also is a very spooky game in some instances. If you have a terrible, terrible situation happen to you, this could be a horror game, and that is Ark Nova.
Yes.
If you happen to be at the zoo and a chimpanzee gets out, this is a horror game.
I could think of
Uh,
another way this is a horror game if you try to play it with four people.
if you try to play with more than two, yeah. Oh my God, that's even worse. Being mauled by a chimp. Uh, yeah. I mean, damn, this is sitting at number 3 overall. What took it?
Yep.
I thought this was at 2 for a sec. Um, is BGG undergoing some maintenance because they're being really fucking slow? Anyway, Arc Nova definitely took over. Like it's insanely popular. Kind of a lot of people compare this to Terraforming Mars. But you are running a zoo. This game is fantastic. Oh, Pandemic Legacy Season 1 is back at 2. Maybe it was always at 2. Anyway,
I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, so you're running a zoo. There's a ton of different animal cards, and it has again kind of like a spatial awareness element of the way you are putting in these enclosures because the different animals require, you know, like the Australian dingo requires a two-piece set to fit in your zoo. And they did a really cool job, I think, with this one by adding like the map packs because each map has kind of like a different rule about how you go about, organizing it. Um, and you're doing the set collection element from different species and different continents that allow you to get different goal cards, depending on, hey, you have a bunch of different uh like the primates. You have a bunch of different monkeys in your zoo, so now you'll meet this goal. But you're doing this. You've seen it in other games, but you are trying to meet your. It's oh God, it's not reputation. It is.
God, I
It's
can't
two
remember.
separate tracks. It's like your victory points and your ticket sales, whatever.
Prestige, maybe.
Yeah, prestige and once those tracks meet, that's how the game ends. Um, and your score is the the bigger disparity between the two.
Once you
Um,
cross. Yeah.
yeah, once they have crossed. So you're trying to balance out one of those because one of those tracks is easier to kind of skip way ahead, and it is a really good system. But the way that this game works is that you have these different action cards down at the bottom, and where they are based off number 1 through 5 will be in relation to the strength of the action. So if you do a 5-1, it's going to be really good. But every time you use it, it'll like rotate out. So that action is really awesome. And over the course of the game, you could flip it to where it's an even better action. The expansion to the game, the Marine Worlds expansion, made it to where everyone has a different ability out of those 5 because the core game everyone has the same 5. It's just in what order do you upgrade them. Now everyone can draft and have a unique action to them, which is really cool. I like that a lot. Um, yeah, tons and tons of cards like this. The zoo deck is insane, and your options of cards you can take. I think that's based off your reputation. I think that's what this track is. But the higher up you are, the more options you have to take cards from, and there's tons. There's like sponsors, and there's just different abilities. The game is actually relatively like it looks cheap from the tokens and stuff. This does not necessarily look like a pretty game. There's one thing about this game that really bums me out, and I mentioned it whenever I was talking about Earth, and they use real pictures of real animals. Love that. I really wish they put in facts
Hmm.
about like the animals and stuff. Like I think that's a missed opportunity. It would have been really cool because there's tons of them in here. Could have been just really neat as a conservation effort to just either bring awareness or just some fun facts to get people more interested in these animals. It could have been really cool, but they didn't. So, wait, no, actually, fuck, did they? Is there a book? Maybe it's in a book.
I don't recall.
I'd have to actually have it. Maybe it is a fact. Maybe there's a factoid book. I'll
I know
I'll double check with
there's
your.
a conservation. I think, book or something that talks about conservation.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this card is number 13, and you just look for 13, and maybe there's a fact. Or I
Yeah,
could be thinking
maybe.
of a different game. Maybe
Yeah.
Meadow did that. Anyway, either way, Arc Nova is an outstanding game. It is really, really good. Um, so they've supported it well enough. I don't really know where else you go from after the once you add water. Like they did the map pack, the zoo map pack, then they did the Marine Worlds, which is great. The expansion's awesome. Their next one, I was almost about to back the three edition, but
There's been
it
so much
I
crap on the board.
exact. It looks like it'd be awesome. Like this looks fucking cool. But the problem is, my fear is that it would turn into another Everdell thing where it's like now I have
Hmm.
all this shit and I already don't get this game to the table enough that it definitely wouldn't because now you have all these fucking 3D pieces that
Yeah.
you have to deal with.
Yep.
But I will say the game is long enough that you would get your use out of these pieces because the game is long and that's
Yeah.
why it's best at two. The solo is very good though.
Yeah. And then they came out with Sanctuary here over the last couple weeks.
Oh
It's like a
yeah.
hex based. It's a lot shorter and a lot simplified version of,
Sanctuary.
yeah. And people are saying they like it, but it's like a dumbed, not dumbed down, but it's like a much simpler, quicker version
Gotcha.
of,
It's like, hey, do you not want to play Ark Nova for 2.5 hours?
yeah.
Here's your hour-long game. Oh, it
And
kind of
it's
looks
just,
like
and it's,
Suburbia.
yeah. And it's all just tile based. You're just dropping
Oh,
tiles and doing stuff.
interesting. I wonder if this is one of those games where it's like you should just own one or the other.
I don't know. I'm afraid to buy this though because I don't want to have to make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Ark Nova is fantastic. It is a
Yeah,
really, really good game. It just fell because I just lack of play. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, if you're gonna get it, I would also recommend the expansion because a lot of people's complaints with the game, which is valid, is it's luck of the draw with how many cards there are. You could just get because there's like end game or there's end game scoring conditions or there's current game scoring conditions where it's like, hey, have a ton of small animals, and you're like, I just have a million tigers. That's all I'm drawing. Like I'm
yeah.
not getting anything small. The expansion added a really actually good way to filter through that deck a lot. So, highly recommend it. And it adds, you know, water creatures. So, yeah,
All right.
I'm curious with how popular this is. I'm surprised they haven't tried to do more with it. Uh,
It's
but
probably a
the map packs are
balancing
great too.
thing, just because they
That's
have
true.
so much in the game. If you add too much, it's gonna mess with the,
Yeah,
you know.
that might be it. Because I know, I mean, Terraforming Mars is still kicking around. They're about to do a legacy, Terraform Mars Legacy next year, I think.
Well, and it's, I mean, I know this is a side tangent, but after looking into that more, with a podcast was talking about it, it's only half of the campaign that they're releasing in this first Kickstarter.
For the legacy,
Yeah, yeah, it's only half of the legacy campaign that you're backing this first time, and then you have to wait for it to fulfill, and then you have to do the whole second half of it down the road.
that is wild.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people, I mean, that's why I haven't gained a whole lot of traction because people are just like, I'm not going to do that. And a lot of
It's like,
people are
hey,
saying,
oh my God.
well, most people are saying they're just going to wait until the second campaign then and just get it all at once.
Right, which
Which may,
means the first campaign isn't going to do well.
right, right.
So that's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, yep.
Like,
That's,
I don't know. I feel like Terraform Mars kind of shit the bed. Um, since they're like big organization box because one thing that pissed me off is like every single cube came in their own little bag, their own little
yeah, I
crack
know.
bag. And I'm like, are you just trying to pollute the planet so we do go to Mars?
Yeah,
Like, are
exactly.
you trying to spearhead this with Elon? This is shitty. Anyway, I don't know Terraform Mars anymore. It's not going to be on the
I
list. I
don't
do
either.
still own Ark Nova. Great
All
game.
right. Yep, yep, it is. All right. So my number 82 is kind of a weird game because it it's back in 2019. Like these game it was rated like in the 50s, 60s, 64, and then it fell off the list for 3 years or for 2 years.
Interesting.
And now it's back. Or because in
He's
2024,
back.
2024 it was 177. So
Damn.
it jumped 95 spots up here, and I think
Hey, you
and
got
I
your
th
big jump.
well, I think the reason is because I finally got the expansion that was out of print for a long time, and it got it to the table again, and Amy and I really enjoyed it, and that's Barron Park. Um,
Oh, ew. No, okay.
um, so the Bad News Bears expansion was what I picked up not too long ago and got it back to the table and stuff. But in this, pretty much, you're starting with a plot of land. You're trying to build your own bear park. You're going to be getting polyomino tiles and playing them on said park. And when you play them on a park, if it covers up a icon, depending on the icon, like if it covers up a cement truck, then you get to pick from one of the advanced structures. If it covers up a construction worker, I want to say construction crew, then you get to do the one of the basic tiles. Um, and I can't remember the other one, but you're covering up icons when you place these to get more tiles and actions and stuff. So you're going to be gaining a tile um quite a bit of times. But then you can also get plots of land that add on, so you can have up to 4 plots of land around your entrance, and you're wanting to fill them up. It's kind of a race in a way because once you fill up if you can fill up your entire board except for the like the it looks like it's roped off with construction tape and stuff. If you have that, then you get to pick the highest available bear token, which are victory points that cascade down. Like they start at like, I don't know what number, 16 or 15, and then they go down from there. So if you're the first one, you get the most highest value one, and so on and so forth as you work yourself down.
Okay.
Um, and so you're trying to completely cover the board except for the construction zone deal, and then that's where you put the bear statues, and you just go you know, until a few of the piles are emptied is kind of how the end game goes. But the Bad News Bears expansion added a couple of interesting deals. It added the I can't remember what they call it. They it
Who's the fucking
oh,
actor that played in that movie? I'm
I
totally
can't
drawing a
remember.
blank of his name.
Well,
Um,
one of the versions had Billy Bob Thornton in it.
that's it. That's who I was thinking of. I was like the guy who like was it married Angelina Jolie or something.
Yeah, yeah, for a little bit.
Yep.
Um, so the expansion adds modules, so it's a modular one. It's one of them adds new goals and stuff to the game. The other one adds grizzly bears to the park, which has
Ooh,
different kind of things. And then the third one adds a monorail system that you can build throughout your deal.
nice.
So it's a neat little deal, and it got it back to the table, and we both really enjoyed it. So that's why it bumped back up onto the list because it's a really simple game. It's Phil Walker Harding, which I like a lot of the stuff he does.
Yeah,
Um, and uh, and yeah, I mean
good deal.
that's my 82.
Cool. Going back, Ark Nova does not have a side book
Okay.
facts. I'm pretty sure that's Meadow
Okay.
that does that. Um, so bummer, missed opportunity. Anyway,
Yes.
my number 82 is my second new one to the list, which actually kind of surprised me again at that it's I guess it's not necessarily that high. It feels appropriate though. We'll see where this one lands next year, but it's the new hotness. Well, not really. It came out this year though. And that's Apex Legends,
Yeah.
the board game. Um so Apex Legends, this one was in my top surprising list because of just how well implemented this game is as a board game. And with the IP that it's based around, this almost feels like it shouldn't exist just because a battle royale style game. How are you going to do that where it's not? Because battle royales typically are pretty high chaos and fast paced, where you're trying to, get in as quickly as possible, doing drops to pick up, you know, weapons and armor and stuff as quickly as possible. Um, and I mean, this game pretty much replicates that extremely well. Has this the cool element of the 3D terrain that while is a pain in the ass to store, still amplifies the game because positioning and moving around the map matter. They have a really cool way of flipping this zone card so you know how the ring is going to be moving in. So over the course of the game, you're gonna be stuck to where you can't really move as much, so you're gonna have to fight one another. Um, with the way that the characters work, see if I can find a good picture. Yeah, this might be my best picture. Is every character has their own unique way that they play that feels like the actual characters from the video game. They have their ultimate that they can pop off, and they have like kind of like another secondary ability that they can use. And they have this cooldown track that makes it very easy to mark when things are how long things are going to be out on the board, when things are going to pop back, when you're going to get them back to use again. The way you use your backpack is very, very clean, and what your body shield is, what your helmet effect is, what your knockdown shield is. I mean, if you're aware of um the IP, they really killed it. This company just knows how to take video games and implement them as board games. So while it might be a little cumbersome to actually uh, get to the table, it's very, very tactical and very strategic. They do a cool, albeit little cumbersome way of doing damage.
Hmm.
Because the easy route would have literally just been have different colored dice. Hey, this gun, kind of like what Six Siege does with different colored dice. They could have easily been like, "Oh, your weapon is well." I don't think they have weapons showing in this picture. They do not. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, this one. Cool, perfect. Yeah, this is the loadout where it's like, hey, you got a blue body shield. Your shield limit's 30, and your helmet ignores headshots, and so on and so forth. But like they could have easily done it to where, oh, you have the Prowler burst, it rolls two yellows, an orange, and a red, or if whatever it could be. They didn't do that. They have like an optimal range um where your target number is of trying to hit and how many cards you draw, and then you kind of have like, oh, here's how much damage each hit does. And if you get headshots, here's the extra damage that it does. So if you hit on all five cards, and let's say, uh, that would be 30 damage. And a couple of them are headshots, so that's going to be so that'd be 36 damage being done to you, unless of course they have a helmet that allows them to, hey, you got a headshot on a card that was less than 60. Never mind, the headshot doesn't count. So you're flipping cards in a certain accuracy range that will modify the number on the card. So it's a lot more involved. It slows shooting down a bit, but it's not going to be for everyone. Do you like
Right.
the different way, because it is unique, never seen it before. Um, but it is still swingy in kind of like rolling dice. But yeah, the game actually looks really good too, with like these transparent, like this is Gibraltar shield that doesn't allow any type of attacking to be done through it. I like the translucent plastic that they have there. These little crates, supply crates, open to show that they've been used, and you could easily paint them if you wanted. The storage that they did though, which is kind of weird, is they had these I wonder if I'd be able to find a picture of it. But they have like this weird almost like what do they call them? Like display box for everyone. Like every single character has like a unique box that they are stored in. But the problem is a lot of stuff is loose, so everything essentially just falls out
Yeah.
in the container. So it's like, why did they go this route? Yeah, I'm not seeing some pictures of them being painted. But yeah, like tons of different map setups depending on just where what you're trying to do. There's a lot in the box. Now, My reservation on the game is that because they only have like a few characters, there's quite a bit more in the video game, and I would just want them to have all the characters. Like I
Hmm.
don't think this game would be enough with the current characters that are out. Um, so we'll see. We'll see if Glass Cannon Unplugged has plans to take this IP and do another, because they have the squad expansion, which added uh Costas and Octane. Um, I think that's literally all they need. It's just, I mean, they say Squad 1 expansion, so I imagine that they would be doing um Squad 2 and Squad 3 to get the game roster up.
Right.
Oh wait, I guess this added more. Sorry. It shows, oh, there's Mirage as well. Caustic, Octane, and Mirage, but I guess it also added Revenant and Watson. So yeah, I mean, I don't even think. I mean, unless Apex Legends has released even more heroes, I don't think it'd have to do that many squad expansions. But yeah, if you're a fan of the IP or you like tactical skirmish games, this is a really unique one. So highly recommend it. That's my 82.
All right. And so for my game that's going to finish out this list, it's new to the list. It's a game that you have played, um, and you are keeping it hostage right now.
Oh,
Um, that's Twinkle Twinkle.
that is that is in your top 100.
It
That
is.
is
It is.
insane.
This game, I never would have thought, just looking at the cover and then like the side art of the cover and all that stuff, all cutesy and the name is all cutesy. Um, a friend of ours showed it to me one day and we played it and it was a blast. And then I played it with a few other people and it's goes over well with everybody. And then
Hmm.
finding out that they had the expansions, which are going to add more scoring tiles, more of the acrylic tiles that are going to, do stuff with it, having the aliens, all that jazz to it. Um, is just going to add more choices, so you won't get stale just with playing with, the planets, asteroids, and stuff like that. You're going to actually have all these extra stuff now and the
Hmm.
and deals, and they're double-sided scoring deals, so you can mix and match some of them because the back sides are more advanced.
Yeah.
And you can kind of mix and match and do that. But pretty much in this game, you are drafting those acrylic tiles that get put out, and then how you draft will pick your turn order for the next round. Um, so you'll pull four tiles on the one deal. Only three of them will get taken if you're playing a three-player game, and that one slides over, and then more come out. So, um, the scoring is fairly simple on this. I mean,
Hmm.
you just, you're trying to make your build your longest constellations. There's a set collection kind of aspect to it, depending on certain deals. The location of your tiles matters. You can't move them once you place them. And the other thing is there's no like placement restrictions. Like you can play it anywhere on your board. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
adjacent to the next one and
I think that's
everything.
my favorite part of the game
Right.
is that it's just nope, just you took a tile, place it somewhere.
Yeah. And everybody else, I mean, it's over when, everybody's board is full.
Yeah.
That's how the game ends, and then you score it up and everything. So I think I like the game enough right now, but knowing that there's all the extra scoring tiles that are coming with the expansions,
Hmm.
that's just gonna make it that much more replayable. Um, and it's one of those games you can get to the table pretty easy because it is cutesy, so you can get certain people that may not be into games as much. It'll be like, oh yeah, that looks cute. I'm gonna play that, and then
Right.
it's kind of like I guess a pseudo gateway game kind of thing.
Yeah.
But um, but yeah, I've had a blast with this since we've picked it up, and it's one of those all play games. Like you said before, it's just a two-page rule sheet, and you
Yeah.
go from there. You know.
All play makes good games.
Yep.
All
So
right.
that
Good
finishes
deal.
off mine.
Nice. All right. My number 81 and ending this video was 15 last year
Nice.
and 35 the year before, so it fell 66 spots. And that mainly, honestly, I think has to do with their expansions, funny enough, which is something that everyone wanted, but I think they've just been fucking weird about their expansions. Still a great game, still my top 100, and that is Heat, pedal to the metal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I do still really like this game, and while the expansions aren't bad, they've just been almost half baked, uh, with just their release window. But in my opinion, this is the best racing game out there. It's not necessarily a deck builder, although you can deck construct a little bit with one of the modules. This does feel like one of the more complete games whenever you buy the core box, and I know it was really hard to get for a while when it came out. Because the insert was actually really good. Came with 4 maps to come with, each map being, different from one another. Not that the maps had like any rules about them, but they just were obviously different tracks, which was great. But they had a bunch of different modules to throw in. A weather module that will change up different, how certain turns are. They had a garage module which had you draft cards to make your deck more unique from everyone. But really, the game is extremely straightforward in how you play. You just basically have a hand of cards of a value, and those are the number of spaces you'll be moving. And based off the gear that you are in, that's how many cards you have to play. Um, but this is the USA track, and you have a certain number of laps that you do,
Mm-hmm.
which is 2 for this track. But the cool thing about the game is you have these turns that have a speed limit. So this is the value that you want to go around the corner. But if you go over that, then you have to add heat into your discard pile. And if you can't, then you crash out and like you burn out and you have to go back before the corner. And it sets you pretty far behind because the heat cards just clog up your deck and you have to have ways to cool them down to get them back in. So it's called heat because you're gonna want to eventually take those risks and throw in more heat cards and try and manage your engine to have that ebb and flow of putting heat cards in and taking them out. Um, High intensity of just really playing your cards right to race past others. The solo variant, even if you can call me, you can just throw in bots into multiplayer games. Are some of the best bots in board gaming, in my opinion. They are so efficient and extremely difficult to beat. But this is still one of the like I said, the best racing game in my opinion. My thing with the expansions, and they have 2 expansions out and the third one coming, is they come with 2 maps for it, and this one and the last one came with the final extra player colors. But the problem is only one of the maps has like the rule. So heavy rain, for example, only one map has the rain element on it. And then it's not like backwards compatible. So it's like, hey, this map has a bunch of rain on it. Oh, cool. Like this has like rain that is like the new rule. But none of the other maps have like it'd be cool if it came with tiles to put onto tracks to actually make it to where the like it's like, well, other places fucking rain. Like, so how about you have this rule to where it works for all the previous maps? But the other thing is like the board's double-sided and the other map doesn't have rain on it. So
Yeah.
it's just so fucking weird. And then if I show you a picture, that USA board will be perfect. So if it zooms in. Yeah, so right here is where all the players start. And it goes to um well, in this version it goes to 8, which is I think the max player count now. Um no, 6. But I think I'd have to relook at it, but I think it goes to 12 on the actual map. But what's weird is even though now you have enough player colors to have a bunch of the bot cards don't account for every single color. So even though it's like, hey, I finally have enough to, play a full 6 player game, you can't have a full map of cars.
Right.
So each expansion, though they've added more and more cars, they did not update the the bot cards, which could come later. I mean, that could be once they're finally done. They could be like, hey, here's the final expansion that it could be a big mega expansion that adds in bot cards and adds in all this extra stuff that's an issue right now. But it's just weird. And the second expansion did the exact same shit. Tunnel Vision um, came with 2 maps, which is cool. You want more maps in a racing game, but literally only 1 map came with the tunnels. And then here's the second map, no tunnels.
Yeah.
So it's like, why the fuck are you doing this? It's so stupid. Um, but still, more maps. Heat is overall still a great game, but yeah, I really, really hate how Days of Wonder is doing these expansion releases. And lo and behold, I mean, 2026. Hey, Rocky Roads, that's gonna be really cool. Oh, wait, only 1 map is gonna have probably. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Rocky Road, South Africa, right there. And oh, don't see that in Deutschland. So why even call it that? It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna get it, but yeah, I just wish that like at the very least both maps should have the fucking new system.
Hmm. You think?
Um, and I just wish that you could implement the other stuff to previous maps. Anyway, Heat Pedal to the Metal, still a fantastic racing game. Absolutely love it. And that was my number 80, right?
81. 81.
81. I'm like, no,
Yep.
it's not 80. My number 81. And that will also be it for this segment, everyone. We got 2 down, got 8 more to go before 7 more before we talk about our top 10 games of all time. Uh More and more great games to come. I hope you're enjoying and like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.